What's up, guys? We are back with Wednesday college basketball action here on January 27th. We're breaking down 6 games on this slightly smaller NCAA basketball slate. We're going to be looking at leans against the spread and on the over-under here as college basketball season is now in full swing. Guys, this is the secondary channel. We got the main channel back and up and running, so click the link down in the description to head over there or just wait until the end of this video and you will have a chance to click on my NBA video for today that's posted over on the main channel. Very excited to have both channels up and running. Let's get some bets in there today. If you want to win all those bets here on Wednesday, hit that like button. It's good luck and really helps the video get promoted out there. Obviously, I'd love it if you would subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content. And if you're a really big time supporter, you can sign up for a channel membership. But that's over on the main channel. You get early access to all of my videos. Also, guys, head over to stompthespread.com. We've been on a sick run over there. If Colorado plus 4.5 can come through, we're looking at a 5-2 or 5-2-1 premium day. We ended with a push there on North Carolina. That was kind of annoying. But very good stuff going on over there covering NFL. College football had a great end of the season. We were on Ohio State to cover, and they certainly did. Obviously, NCAA basketball, NBA, UFC, and the NHL is on a hell of a run. They just went 3-0 2 nights in a row, I think, on Hockey Picks. So it's been very, very good stuff. No better time lately, guys, to sign up over at stumpthespread.com. So click the link down there in the description. You can get on our free email list over there. You can see all of our free picks that we post over there as well. So definitely worth going over there and taking a look. Let me know in the comments any bets you're looking at today. I'll give you my best advice on all of them. I personally respond to every single comment every day, and I'm more than happy to get back to you. As always, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now, before Baby Stump wakes up, let's get into our first game of the day here, guys. We're looking at a burner here between number 12 Kansas. They're going on the road in this one to take on the TCU Horned Frogs. Kansas, guys, they come into this one, I mean, obviously still ranked 12th in the nation. They're not exactly having the smoothest season. They're fresh off a 84-74 10-point win there against Kansas State. They're playing that one at home. It was kind of a bounce back after getting absolutely just destroyed there at number 2 Iowa. It looks like the Jayhawks aren't quite on that level. I mean, led by Hunter Dickinson, they've had some decent wins, but they've had some letdowns this season. I mean, losing against West Virginia is not the best look. They did beat Duke, but that was much earlier in the season before Duke seemed to have their stuff figured out. This is an elite ball movement team, but their offense doesn't really generate that many points. They're a good rebounding team. Their defense is solid, but they just haven't looked great against elite competition this season. So we'll see if they can, look a little bit better this time out against, maybe not exactly what I would term elite competition as they go on the road to take on TCU, a team that's played a little bit better here recently. They're coming off of a huge 74-71 win there at number 25 Baylor. So that has to feel pretty great. Now they get to go home, though, and take on another big-time ranked opponent. The game before that, they lost against Utah. They've had some pretty weak performances against some good teams. I mean, getting destroyed by Houston, losing against Arizona. That's not even that great of a team. Losing against Vanderbilt, Colorado State. A loss against Santa Clara in the early goings this season does not look very good. This is a team, I'm not going to say they're fully offensively challenged, but I mean, Noah Reynolds leading the way there with 12.5 points per game. Like, that's not a great look. They're 347th in the NCAA, averaging 68.3 points per game. Some of that can be chalked up to their pace of play, but overall, they're just not that great of an offensive team, guys, and that's a big concern here. Their rebounding numbers, very, very pedestrian. Their defensive numbers are good, but a lot of that does come from pace of play. Their ball movement, I mean, their assist numbers on the year, guys, really, really lacking. So looking at the numbers for this one, TCU getting 6.5 points here at home. We got a total in this one of 136.5. Kansas, they're 9-8 against the spread. They're 5-2 to the under this season. TCU only 6-11 against the spread and 11-6 to the under this year. Guys, I think this is a great spot to take two different plays on this game. First up, I really like Kansas here at -6.5. I think they can go on the road and get the job done, even though TCU's playing a little bit better right now. I just don't think they really have the offensive firepower to hang around with Kansas, and I don't think they're going to have a good time on the glass in this matchup either. So definitely like the Jayhawks to win and cover. But guys, I also like the under here. These two teams are a combined 26-8 to the under this season. 136.5, not a ton of points, but I definitely think we come in on the under in this one. So one of those two plays definitely ending up in the pinned comment in this one, no doubt about that. Now, guys, on to one of the marquee games of the night. We've got number 13, Texas A&M, going on the road to take on number 16, Ole Miss. Texas A&M 14-4 on the season, having a great time out there. It's been a little bit rough recently. It hasn't been the easiest of sledding, but losing against number 5 Alabama by 6, and then kind of getting blown out at number 8 Kentucky. while those aren't ideal wins, obviously, they're not the end of the world. This is still a very, very good team, guys. Phelps leading the way for them now with 15.6 points per game. Wade Taylor's done his thing, but he's also been banged up this season, so we'll see what he can do. Obviously, he's back from injury now, so we'll see if he can get back to his old self. That's obviously a huge, huge deal for this team. Over the course of the year, guys, this has been an absolutely elite rebounding team, 12th in the nation in rebounds per game. I know that's a slightly flawed stat, but it gives you a general idea of where they're at. This is a team that definitely is willing to crash the boards. They're good defensively. They can put up some nice offensive numbers as well, although I'm not going to freak out. I mean, 76.4 points per game, not out of this world numbers, but they've had some good performances, even against some decent teams, like 80 points against Oklahoma, and that was at Oklahoma. Like, that's a pretty good game for anybody. So definitely liking a lot of what we're seeing from Texas A&M right now as they go on the road to take on Ole Miss, number 16 Ole Miss. They come into this game fresh off a tough loss, guys, a brutal loss, I would say. They went on the road at number 15 Mississippi State, ended up losing that game 84-81. It was a kind of predictable letdown spot after a huge game at Alabama, number 4 Alabama, that they ended up winning by 10. So having a letdown going, on the road back-to-back times, that's a little bit rough. And this team doesn't necessarily have superstar firepower, guys. I mean, Sean Padula leads the way with 14.2 points per game, so not exactly, an unstoppable force out there. In terms of their offensive production, they are very good as a team, 90th in the nation, putting up nearly 80 points per game. Their defensive numbers are good as well, but I really, really worry about the rebounding of this team. I don't know how they're going to be able to hold up on the glass. I mean, they're 280th in the nation rebounding, going up against a team that's 12th in the nation rebounding. So that's a major concern for me for sure. They're a decent defensive team, don't get me wrong. Definitely like what we see there, but I have my concerns about what Ole Miss is going to do in this one anytime there's a missed shot. So looking at the numbers, Ole Miss, they're a favorite at home, 3.5-point favorite. We've got a total of 141.5. Texas A&M, they are 10-6-2 against the spread this season. They're 11-7 to the under. Ole Miss, they're 12-5-1 against the spread and 11-7 to the under as well. So you could definitely talk me into under 141.5. I've got no problem with that play. It's not my favorite on this game, though. My favorite is going to be taking those Texas A&M Aggies and those 3.5 points. I know playing on the road can be tough. Obviously, that's a given here in college basketball. It's going to happen. It's maybe even a little bit tougher in SEC play, but I think we see Texas A&M possibly win this game. I think they're going to have a really good time on the glass and make things really, really tough. I can see this either coming down to a one-possession game or Texas A&M walking away with a straight-up win. So also, if you want to take the money line on this one, I could wrap my head around that as well, guys. So let's go ahead and move on to our next game. We're looking at Boise State, guys. They're going on the road in this one to take on the Colorado State Rams. This is going to be a pretty exciting game. This is actually one of my favorite conferences out there. The Mountain West is a pretty exciting conference. You got to watch the Mountain West games, guys. It can get pretty nice out there. Boise State comes in this game not having their best time. They're fresh off a blowout loss at New Mexico. A lot of teams are going to get blown out at New Mexico. That's just kind of par for the course. They're actually 3-3 over their last 6 games, though, guys. They lost against San Diego State. They lost at number 25 Utah State in a barn burner, an 81-79 game. That was a great, great game there. They blew out Wyoming, and then that loss there at New Mexico. So they're going on the road in back-to-back games. That can be a bit of a tall order, guys. I mean, this is a team with some, I'm not going to say firepower on it necessarily, but they've got some players. They're around the top 100 nationally in offense. They're a mediocre to good rebounding team. They play some defense. Their ball movement is very, very nice. We've seen very solid individual play from different guys on this roster, but I don't really feel like they have just like an ultra high level superstar that you can 100% trust. I mean, Tyson Dengart, guys, he is very, very good. Don't get me wrong, but do we trust him to just go get a bucket every single time we need it? I don't know. That seems like kind of a big ask. So we'll see what they can do here going on the road to take on the Colorado State Rams, who are 11-7 on the year. They've been playing well here down the stretch, albeit not against the toughest part of their conference schedule, guys. I mean, wins at San Jose State, against Fresno State, over UNLV, a loss at San Diego State, that's to be expected, and their last time out, a nice blowout win there at Wyoming. So we'll see what they can do, getting to go back home here against Boise State. Obviously, not an easy opponent to face. Clifford leads the way for this team for sure. 17 points, almost 4 assists per game, shooting 50% from the field. But I do worry about the Rams' offense just in general. 74.1 points per game, not amazing. They're a middle-of-the-road rebounding team. Their defense isn't great. They do have nice ball movement. Like, they're a pretty good offensive team, but not necessarily one that I think belongs in the upper echelon. So looking at the numbers here, guys. Colorado State, -1.5, so slight favorites at home. We've got a total of 140.5. Boise State, 8-10 against the spread, 11-7 to the over. Colorado State, 8-10 against the spread as well. They're 10-8 to the over. So, guys, in terms of who's going to win this game, I think it's a little bit of a toss-up. If you're begging me for a side in this one, give me Boise State as a slight lean, but I really think what we want to be looking at is the total in this game. 140.5 not enough points. This is a game both teams might finish in the 80s here. I'm definitely taking the over in this one, and it's going to be in the pinned comment for sure. I really like there to be plenty of offense out there in this game. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Kansas State Wildcats going on the road to take on the Baylor Bears. Kansas State 7-10 on the season, not having the best time. They've lost, 5 in a row now. It's been a brutal stretch of schedule, don't get me wrong. Their last loss was a 10-point loss at number 9 Kansas, so I'm not going to really give them too much crap. This isn't necessarily a team that came into this year with very high expectations either. They do struggle on the boards. They're not a very good offensive team. Their ball movement's nice. Like, they get some assists. They do some good stuff out there, but don't really have any superstar talent on the roster either, so just a lot has to improve here for this program if they're, going to want to be among the best teams out there. And, obviously the very competitive Big 12. So not necessarily loving what we're seeing from the Wildcats right now as they go on the road to take on the Baylor Bears, who are 11-6 on the season. They're not having a great time either recently, though, guys. They just lost against TCU and a kind of a heartbreaker, losing that game by 3 points. They lost the game before that on the road at Arizona, so that was a tough back-to-back road spot, so maybe they can be excused a little bit, but this is not a team that's really lived up to expectations so far this season. I mean, they're 53rd in the nation, scoring a ton of points. Like, their offensive numbers are great. Defense, very good once again, guys. I mean, this is a team with a lot of talent. They should be a bit better than they are, and it's just been rough out there for the Baylor Bears. They, were ranked earlier this season, highly ranked, and it just hasn't really worked out. But the odds makers still giving them lots of respect. The Bears are 12-point favorites here at home. We've got a total of 142. Kansas State 7-10 against the spread. They are 9-8 to the under. Baylor 6-9-1 against the spread and 10-6 to the over. Guys, this is a huge bounce back spot for Baylor. I think that we see their defense take over and their offense put up plenty of points. I think they're going to have their way here with the Kansas State Wildcats, a team that's not really, geared up to play a tough road game like this. So give me Baylor here at -12. Is this one going in the pinned comment? I would say probably not. I just don't trust Baylor enough at this point, but I definitely think there's some value to be had on this play. Last but not least, guys, we're looking at the USC Trojans going on the road to take on the Nebraska Cornhuskers. USC 11-7 on the season. They're coming into this game fresh off a tough kind of blowout loss there, and they were at home for this one, and they got just absolutely manhandled by then number 24 Wisconsin. They won a couple in a row before that. They had a nice win at number 13 Illinois, so that was a very good win, but they've had a bit of a tough time out there in the Big Ten this season. Obviously, a big adjustment for this team and this program, but they do have a monster in Desmond Claude. I mean, 16 points per game does not grow on trees, and he's shooting over 50% from the field, but this squad not exactly killing it defensively, not a very good defense team, and their rebounding is really mediocre. So they've got a lot of room to improve here as they go on the road to take on a very solid Nebraska team. 12-6 on the season for the Cornhuskers so far, but they're having a straight up not good time. They've lost their last 4 in a row, losing a 10-point game at Iowa, getting blown out at Purdue, then losing a heartbreaker against Rutgers, and then going on the road and losing at Maryland by 3 points. Yeah, this is a very decent team, guys. This is not a bad team. They're just playing a tough schedule and having some really bad luck in some very close games. I mean, a 2-5 record in Big Ten play, not exactly what I saw coming for this team. Bryce Williams is a monster, 18.6 points per game, shooting nearly 50% from the field. This is a decent defensive team and an offensive team that can be a little bit inconsistent, but can put up crazy numbers when given the chance. So I'm expecting them to bounce back here a little bit, and they're a much better rebounding team than we see the USC Trojans being. And Nebraska, guys, they're 5.5-point favorites here at home. We've got a total of 145.5. USC 7-11 against the spread. They are 13-5 to the over. Nebraska 10-8 against the spread. 10-8 to the under as well. Guys, this is a great spot to take the Nebraska Cornhuskers. They're going to figure this out. They're going to get a win here. USC, those guys straight up not going to be having a good time out there in Nebraska. The weather in Nebraska, a little bit different right now than it is in Southern California. So definitely give me the Cornhuskers here. This is a play that will 100% end up in the pinned comment. And I'll be honest, this play could end up being a premium pick over at stumpthespread.com. So definitely, guys, click the link in the description. Go over there to stumpthespread.com. Hit the like button on this video. I really appreciate everybody that tunes in here on the secondary channel. Also, here in just a second, a link is going to pop up to go to the main channel to go to our NBA play over there. So not going to want to miss out on that one. It's a loaded NBA slate. We got lots of good value over there to discuss on the NBA game. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. I also appreciate all the love down in the comments about the the birth of my son, getting the main channel back, all that kind of good stuff. It's been a really just incredible last week or so for my family and me personally, just like all kinds of emotions, all kinds of awesome stuff. So I really appreciate all of you guys being a part of it, and I will see you tomorrow, if not on this channel, then on the main channel for more sports betting action.